Hi, good morning. My name is Tony O'Neill, and I'm doing this video for the RoboEthics class currently that I'm in. So the first question is, what have I learned in this class? Um, it's only supposed to be a couple of minutes of a video, so there's a lot of stuff I learned. Um, there is a lot of paranoia and misinformation out there when it comes to robots. I think that Hollywood does a very bad job of portraying robots as villains, rather a very good job of portraying them as villains, and presenting cases where technology goes awry. And I think that people look at this not necessarily as a science fiction based movie. They think it could be reality. Now, as we've learned in classes, in this class, yeah, some of that does have some truth. We have individuals that, in the Therac case study, individuals that developed a technology that was used. It was poorly developed and not well tested, and ended up causing people to lose their lives. Does it mean we stop using robots in medical technology? No, absolutely not. Instead, we just do more testing and we get better approval from the FDA. Technology is not taking over our lives. We're still humans, and we use it to advance our lives, if anything. I think some people would be lost if they couldn't check their stocks or their email, or play Farmville. They would have to find other means of getting satisfaction. I'm in the military. Obviously, I'm in uniform. I've been around military robots. I've been around things that have helped save lives. Detonating bombs, for example. I'd much rather send a $100,000 robot in with a piece of military grade explosive to detonate a bomb, and not have to risk a human life to go in and do the same thing. That bomb is there to do one thing, and that's to destroy. Let it destroy a machine that can be fixed, rebuilt, repaired, and even if it can't, maybe we can learn from how it was destroyed and make something a little bit better. It's not like we've got Robo Soldier or these mech robots, walking around like the video game Mech Warrior. It's not like we're inside a robot and going around and just blasting things. Could it come to that? I could definitely see something like that, but I still think that that there is an aspect of that Joe Citizen just doesn't really understand. War is not pretty, and using a drone and dropping a bomb, we use intelligence in order to make those decisions on where to drop the bomb at. We have people on the ground that usually have laser sights that direct bombs where to go. That's smart technology. We're not using antiquated ways of military anymore, where it's just you throw a massive wall of human life at the enemy and then hope that our mass is bigger than their mass and our technology is better than their technology, and we end up winning the war. Yeah, bombs get dropped, people get shot, innocent civilians get caught in a crossfire. Joe Citizen even though they want to help and understand the military and some of the catastrophic things that we go through, we also villainized when things go awry. Technology still saves a lot of lives on the battlefield. The days of conflict continue to evolve. The way we think and the way other civilized nations think, we want to minimize loss of life, minimize damage to innocent property, and until that day comes where we can develop a weapon that evaporates the weapon and spares a life, it's a part of war that people just are not understanding. And I understand some of the critics. Hey, look, there's a human on the other side of that machine. They're using the machine to kill a human life, but that's war. And I understand some of the critics in saying that eventually a robot could turn on its human master and something could go awry. Again, I think a lot of that's Hollywood, and I mean until there's actual signs that we've developed something that is out of control, I also think that as a human race, we're going to think about different ways. I mean, we have EMPs that will disable electronic devices, electromagnetic pulses, and so we have the ability to stop things that can get out of control. Another thing to think of, it's not like the enemy holds up a sign that says, "Hey, I'm right here. You can go ahead and shoot here." It's not like that. We don't do carpet bombing. We refrain from barbaric means. So what else? What else is there about this class? I still think people are strange. As I said with my opening remark, think about a potential for sex with robots. We just had this discussion, and would I not want to do it? Who am I to say? I don't know what the future holds. What about having a robot maid or butler? What about I'm geriatric and I need somebody to care for me? I've been in plenty of hospitals where there's a lack of nurses. I've been in plenty of nursing care homes where I've had a grandfather that sits for an hour and a half without a human interaction. If they're able to be in their own home in a comfortable environment, have a robot take care of them, I would completely embrace something like that. Would it be possible for me to eliminate chores in the future? Hey, you know what? Let me have that robot gardener to take care of my 2 acres of lawn, robot butler to clean my house. Hey, sign me up. I'm one of the first ones that's going to be out there and on board with that. All it means is just another piece of technology that's going to make my life easier. With this, probably one of the side effects is I'm going to have to work longer hours because I'm not doing so much at home, right? Or maybe another side effect is I get to spend more time with my family. We talked about rights, human rights, and how a lot of these human rights may be transposed into robots. You know what? Give me a Mr. Data. I'm all about giving him rights. Loved the Star Trek episode where he was able to confront his accuser and actually, talk about why he thinks he's a sentient being. Give me an R2-D2. I'm not so sure I'd be willing to give R2-D2 the same sort of rights. Do I want to give my cell phone Siri rights? No, doesn't work that way. But if I can get a sentient being like Samantha, definitely open for discussion there. But as I said in my paper, I'm not 100% sure what Sam really would want as rights. So until then, to me, they're just big toasters. They make my life a lot easier, and they're property like my cell phone. So where do I draw the line with robotics? I don't. I simply let people who are a lot smarter than I am develop new and great things to keep making our lives a lot easier. Let me have that device that I can speak into, like Picard does on Star Trek, and poof, there's my supper. Let me have a holodeck in my home where I can go in this room and have an instant vacation. I don't have to pay money to fly to Vegas or someplace like that, or Florida. Let me have that computer to help me do my robot ethics homework. All for that too. Hey, you know what? I'm all about advancing technology. So where does that come into play? We've recognized that slavery is wrong. We've recognized that sexual inequality is wrong. So if all these things are a thing of the past, why can't robot ethics, why can't robot rights, why can't we develop as a society just like we have from the past? We've learned from our past why things are wrong. We can, as an intellectual species, develop things that are going to better our society. We can, if a robot is able to argue for their rights, I'm all for it. You know what? I want Betty from the Jetsons also. I forgot about her. And a flying car. So how about ethics? How are ethics part of my life? Ethics of technology. You know what? I don't use them for the wrong reason. I'm a sheepdog. Obviously, I want to protect the human species. I'm not a wolf. I don't use technology to prey for people. Prey on people on the internet. I don't use technology to steal people's identities. I don't use technology for wrong reasons. I use them for the right reasons. Do I use them for my own gratification? You bet. I mean, again, I use Facebook, I use email. all kinds of things. So as a sheepdog, I'm all about protecting society. As the sheep, I think that the humans as a species are pretty oblivious as to how things can go wrong. I think that when you watch a movie and you get into Hollywood and you see all the things that could potentially go wrong, I think you start getting a little nervous. And again, you're not using enough information to justify your way of thinking. The wolves, they're using technology, they're researching, they're doing a lot of their own homework on how to exploit us as a human. So as far as ethics and technology is concerned, I really honestly think I live by the Army values, leadership, and that's loyalty, duty, selfless service, respect, personal courage, honor, integrity, and those values. As long as we think that way as a society, I think that technology is going to kind of conform to the same ideals and beliefs that we have. Finally, would I recommend this class to others? I strongly encourage this class. Anytime you start talking about ethics, you start talking about the development of our society, the advancement of our society, anytime you can get into a course like that where you have those open intellectual discussions, I'm all for that. It's not just about picking on one thing and harping on it. We moved from military and dangers of using military type robots all the way to the final part where through geriatric care, through hospital care, all the way to the final part where it was really a little bit interesting. Hated the movie, by the way. I actually hated it. But when you watch it and you start thinking about this could be the future, you start opening yourselves to different ideas. Robot programming in the future, we're going to have to watch that. We're going to have to be cognizant of what could potentially be used to harm others. But we're that way now. We have watchdog groups for just about everything. It's keeping the paranoia out of it and actually using facts instead. And I think that's what this class does. Is it opens, it's being open to topics. It's being well organized and being able to discuss why you think the way you do. We watched iRobot. We watched several different videos and movies in which technology can be used for good things, but it can also be abused by the same sort of people. So having those open discussions, again, this was a great class. I never really, honestly, I didn't expect it would be this good, and I'd get that much into it. I am a techie kind of guy. I'm a sci-fi kind of guy, so I loved a lot of the movies. But I also recognize that it is Hollywood and it's not actually factual. So, if I can sign off now, I will. And I was going to do some kind of geeky thing and kind of do my little robot impression. But I'll leave it for that. But definitely good class, and I would definitely recommend it for others. Take care.